yo también.
Ok.
Pero este es bueno.
So this is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first panel, the woman says, very expensive. And then she says in Spanish, me vio cara, which is like, do you see my face? Means like, do I look stupid? Then this guy says, it's hydroponics. It's imported hydroponics. So to explain the price, no? And then the woman says, my Samsung's aura detector detects that they are not. And then it says zap. So she has a Samsung detector of aura that tells her if the product is really hydroponics. Yeah? Okay. Now he's sweating and crying actually, and he says, are you calling me a liar? Now a new person comes in. It's a very muscular guy, and he's asking, where do I leave this patroncito? You know, like little boss, Mr. Boss. And in the box it says product, and then it says Peru, because he says it's imported hydroponics. No? Okay. Now the woman is thinking, and she thinks, the box says product of Peru. It is imported. Yeah? Okay. Now the salesman says, my dad used to sell to your mom. I would never lie to you.
Family business.
Yeah, so there's a family link. And then the muscular guy says, don't cry, boss. Where do I leave the box? Now we are looking at this muscular guy who is carrying the box. And he says, he's thinking, right? And so he thinks, the boss doesn't pay me for thinking. Then he says, as long as he doesn't tell me where to put the Peruvian hydroponics, I can't move. Therefore, I cannot earn. Which means that I am paying him not to think. This is in this panel, and in the meantime you can see that the customer is still arguing with the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Now he says, but it is a non-consensual payment, which is to say a theft. And then he says, of course, right now I am here thinking without being paid to think, without being paid for it. For me, to think is not working, but rather resting. He's thinking all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, which means that I am resting while I am working. And then he laughs, ha 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 ha.
And the box looks heavy,
The box, yeah.
no?
Well,
Or it's because he has a lot of muscle.
He's very muscular, yeah, you can
Anyway.
tell. If it says they're Peruvian hydroponics, I don't think it's heavy. But,
I know.
but yeah, you can see he has a very broad back. Yeah. Okay. Now we have a new character. She's carrying 2 boxes. So, you know, whether heavy or not, she can carry 2 in just one hand.
Very strong.
And she says, compañero, meaning, you know, comrade, partner. ¿Dónde toca dejar esto? Where are we supposed to leave this?
Mm-hmm.
And then he replies, there are 2 piles. One that says Peru, and one that says Philippines. And then he says all the boxes say Peru. So I guess you're supposed to leave them in the pile that says Peru. Now he asks her. They're both carrying their boxes to the piles, we guess. Let's suppose. And then he asks her, so do they let you work like that, wearing a bikini? Because as you can see, she's wearing a bikini, which is not normal.
She also
working.
looks muscular.
She's very muscular, yeah.
Muscular.
Yeah, very muscular. And then she says, so he asks, so they let you work like that, wearing a bikini? And then she says, well, you see, since I don't ask for permission, they can't deny me permission.
She also likes to think.
Yeah, she's well, you'll see.
I would love to work using a bikini.
You would like to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
But it's
if
too cold
it's
here.
in terms of safety. Maybe it's not so good.
Or in an exhibition or an opening.
Yeah, that's it's
like
true.
everybody using wearing bikini or.
Yeah, bring a bikini.
Yes.
Bikini party.
Yeah, bikini work.
Bikini work.
Okay, so then she says, I don't ask for permission, so they can't deny me permission. And then as he's throwing one of the boxes, he says, so you just have to know how to do things, right? And then she replies, while she's throwing a box, that's what they taught me. Meaning what he said, that you need to know how to do things. So, yeah. Okay, now in this next strip, we see her, half of her face, and of course they're speaking in the formal in Spanish, no? So they say usted, not tú, which would be the informal you. So they are
from Bogota?
No, they are being formal for the moment. We can try to figure out where they are later. I don't think they're in Bogota. Also, he's not wearing a shirt, and she's in a bikini.
Huh.
So that indicates maybe they're not in the upper Sierra or in the Bogota mountain region.
But I think that's because they are in a working environment.
It could
right?
be, yeah. But I think there are reasons later on to assume that they are in a different kind of landscape.
Like the jungle.
What?
The jungle.
We'll see.
Serious jungle.
Now,
Serious hot element.
we'll see. She asks him, what kind of music do you like, compañero?
Reggaeton.
Well, he answers, in the mornings I like ballads, meaning like
Wow.
Latin ballads. In the afternoons I like the news, meaning probably like on the radio, the news. Now she's leaning in a very strange way to pick up something maybe from this bag. There's something that she's rummaging through, and she laughs, ha ha ha, the news are not music. And we can see that she's pulling a device from out of this kind of satchel or bag that's on the floor. And then she says, this satellite counter is descargado when the batteries are out. How do you say? Like when your phone has no batteries.
This what?
This satellite counter, I guess.
What is
Counter.
I don't know what it is. I think maybe she explains later.
Okay.
But it's, you can hook up to a satellite and count something.
Okay.
I think it would be, no?
Makes sense.
And she said, this PFFFF, it means like damn it, this device is not charged, so I can't do something. Now we see him urinating. You can see that his pants are a bit halfway down, and he's peeing, and it says it's 4 S's. And now he says, okay. Then he says, oh, it's because we don't use that anymore. That device, meaning each box has a chip.
To track.
So we can guess that they would use this before to count the boxes, so that they don't have to do it manually.
Yeah.
They hook up to a satellite, maybe. The satellite, projects a beam, and counts the boxes, and then they can, okay, there's the load is 50 boxes of Peruvian hydroponics. But he's saying they don't need to do that anymore because the box have chips. Now he asks her, he's zipping his pants up. Yeah? Can you tell? It says there's
Yes.
4 Z's there. That's the sound of the zipper going up. And then he's asking her, why do you call me compañero, like partner? And then she says, because we work together. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Starting here, some of the strips are from later parts of the story. So now we continue with 5 down here. And now we have a guy who looks like a truck driver. He's in the little booth in the cabin of his truck, and he's pulling on something. So it's like a chain, like the kind that you use to blow your horn.
And he has a nice shirt.
Yeah, he's wearing it's not just a short. You can see later that it's a whole suit.
Outfit.
Yeah, like an overall. And then ba 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 is the sound that the truck, the truck horn is making. And then you can see that the company he works for is called Tran or something having to do with transportation. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now Bikini says the truck is leaving. And then in the next panel we see that the truck hasn't lifted the ramp that is used to bring the boxes up. You can see here that there's some boxes and a kind of crate.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they were loading the truck, but the ramp is still down and the truck is beginning to pull off. So she says the truck is leaving without pulling up the ramp. But then he says the ramp goes up automatically or like on its own. But so no problem, like it's gonna just pull up. Zip. But he says we haven't finished unloading the truck, right? So this is the truck that they've been unloading the boxes from, bringing them to the other place, and they're not done. So he says we haven't finished unloading. And then the driver says, I don't work per load, I work per hour. Meaning his shift is over, it's
going.
time for him to leave, and it doesn't matter to him whether the load is over or not. Presumably for them, they don't get to go home until they finish with the load, like they work per load. Yeah? But he works per hour, so he can leave. So then she says, his work day is ending. Or for him, the what do you call it? Like the journey, the jornaleros, like the jornada laboral is like your work day. Okay. And now we see the truck leaving, and then here it says adios, which means goodbye. And they're looking at the truck as it leaves, and then one of them says, we work per load, but he took the load. Right? So they can't work anymore. And then he says, oh, I forgot to call him compañero. because they work together. No, I mean, she's taught that the people
Like a team.
the people you work with, you call compañero. You're like, yeah.
It's funny he didn't say anything about her bikini.
The driver, yeah, maybe he knows her.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because it seems that this guy maybe is new, although he knows some stuff that she doesn't know about the technology. So it's not clear why it's the first time that they are meeting.